Hey there guys, and welcome to this episode of Ask Gearist. My name is Brandon from Gearist.com. Today's question comes from Matt G, and Matt asks, along the lines of the first question, would you recommend using similar standard road and tri-specific bike models, or are the two styles so different that you can have more variety between bikes than you do in shoes? The question that Matt is referring to is the first episode of Ask Gearist, which you can see right here. In that episode, somebody was asking if they're running in, say, like a particular New Balance model, I think it was, for road runs, should they try to get the same basic model in trail runs? And my advice was to absolutely stay as close to those two as you can. With bikes, it's a lot different. For those of you that think a bike is a bike is a bike, that is not the case. Much of the time, bike sizing, whether it's a medium, a large, or an extra large, or even something more specific like a 58 centimeter frame, isn't always a 58 centimeter frame from a Specialized to a Cervelo to a Trek. These are all going to be different sizes because you never know where they're measuring that 58 centimeters from. Are they measuring it from the back of the seat tube to the front of the steer tube, or are they measuring it from the middle of the steer tube to the back of the seat tube, and so on and so forth? All these things play into the different sizing of different bikes. Now, of course, some of us do have loyalties to certain brands, but even within brands, the bikes can be so vastly different, even among just triathlon specific bikes. For instance, the triathlon bike, the Shiv by Specialized, and the bike that preceded that, which is still available, the Transition, those bikes are by Specialized. Both of them are by Specialized. Both of them are triathlon or time trial bikes, but they have vastly different geometries. Just to give you a little bit of an idea, here is a frame for the Shiv, and here is a frame below it for the Transition. You can see how different these two bikes are. Now, more to Matt's question. For me, it's very important to get on a bike that really fits you and that feels good. So whenever anyone's buying a bike, whether it's buying, you already have a road bike and you want a TT bike, whatever that is, what is most important is getting on a bunch of bikes and finding out what geometry works best for your body. This is why they make things like women's specific frames, because women's geometry, their anatomical geometry, is set up a lot different than a guy's in most cases. So in this case, it's important to get on a lot of bikes. So Matt's question, he has a Kestrel time trial bike that he informed me in a later email. And I don't think it's important to necessarily go to a Kestrel road bike. I think what's important, Matt, is finding a bike that fits for you. Now, you could always do a little bit of kind of math and figure out the exact geometry of the bike that you've got and then try to match a road frame to that largely. But keep in mind, even that's not going to be that accurate, because what if you've got a different handlebar setup? What if your handlebars are a little wider on the one bike than the bull horns on a TT bike? Or what if the reach on the hoods is a little bit shorter than, or excuse me, longer than the reach on the bull horns of a time trial bike? All these things play into the different sizes of bicycle frames. So while I definitely understand having brand loyalty and liking the way that a bike looks or how it's performed under somebody else's feet, what's most important is getting you on a bike that feels good to you. And what is even more important than that is getting a good bike fitting. People balk at bike fittings all the time, and a fitting, for clarity's sake, is not, hey, I'm this tall, what size bike do I get on? That's not a bike fitting. That's kind of bike sizing a little bit. But a bike fitting, think about it like going to a tailor for a really amazing suit or a dress or something like that. A bike fitting is probably going to cost you $200 to $300 depending on where you go, and it's probably going to take 2 to 3 hours, if not more. An experienced bike fitter is going to be able to take your body's individual geometry, which is basically like a snowflake and everybody is different. It's going to be able to take your individual geometry of your body, set it up to best work with the bicycle frame that you've got. Retool is a great bicycle fitting system that is nationwide. They have different people that come in to take Retool University or Retool U, and that's where they teach these people to work with the tools that Retool provides for bike fitting services. Now, you can see a video right here of a Retool fit and process, and you can also just Google Retool by searching for R-E-T-U-L. Thanks so much, Matt, for the great question. Now, if you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to let us know. You can do so by either emailing info@gearist.com, find us on any of our social networks, Facebook.com/Gearist, Instagram and Twitter @TheGearist, or you just click those buttons that you see right over there, which leads you to all our social networks. The easiest way, though, might be to click right down below and leave a message in the comment section of this video. While you're there, don't forget to like and favorite this video and let your friends know about it. Maybe someone who you know is also thinking these same questions. Don't be shy about asking those questions. We've got lots more on the way. Thank you guys so much for spending a few minutes with us today, and we'll see you next time.